Hello, everybody. This is DW Alchemy presenting to you our first Law of Attraction Hangout. And my name is Tara Woodruff. I wanted to make sure that the Hangout page was, muted because you know me. My name is Tara Woodruff, and I'm partnered up here with Kimberly, and we are super excited to bring this to you today. We're running these Hangouts to give you some Law of Attraction and some value. It's not necessarily a marketing hangout or anything like that, but it can be applied to any part of your life that you're looking to improve upon. So I want to introduce to you the lovely Kimberly Drummond.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy and grateful to have you here, and I'm actually really grateful today because I've had this horrible cold and everything, and I was sort of stressing out a little bit. I'm worried about the hangout, but I seem to have cleared up, and it's awesome that I'm here today talking to you guys. So yeah, Tara and I here because we really want to bring some value to you, and and if you really pay attention to what we're going to share, you're gonna, it's gonna blow your mind. Those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Kimberly Drummond, and I'm a Thinking to Results facilitator with Bob Proctor. I also work as a results coach, and I work with entrepreneurs, really helping them get from where they are to where they want to be. So regardless of where they are, I really help them build their business and grow their business. So that's what I do, and I love doing that. Love seeing the change. And Tara and I partnered up because two awesome people are doing great things, so it would, it's a great meeting of the minds, and you're going to get some great value here today.
Yes, indeed. And if you don't know who Bob Proctor is, then you need to go get the movie The Secret and get introduced to him. He's featured heavily in that movie, so the experience that Kimberly's bringing to this of working with him directly is just absolutely astounding. I couldn't ask for more. How does it get better than this? I don't know. So I'm just making sure we're streaming good, and yes, we are, because my end wasn't streaming right, but we got it going now.
Fantastic.
I wanted to talk about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, we were basically what you were going to say, that we are talking really about the law of attraction, and if you haven't seen any of the videos, or you don't know what we're talking about, because there are some people that don't know, and with regards to the law of attraction, it's a lot to do with it's a law. It's the same thing that you have in physics. There are laws. The same thing with gravity. It works. Whether you believe it or not, it still works. If you jump out of a building, you soon enough realize that the law of gravity is real, and whether you agree with it or not doesn't really matter. It's a law. So you might not agree with the law of gravity, you might not believe in it, but it's still there and it's still working. So the law of attraction is one of the universal laws that really, they're fundamental in our lives, and they have a great impact in everything that we do. So it's really to understand what's going on within yourself. And really, Tara thought of this amazing thing, and thought it would be great to have a hangout to give value to everyone.
Yes. I even wonder if it may be the only true law. I think we could even probably defy gravity at one point or another, but I think that's something else. That's a whole other spiritual question. But one thing's for sure, no matter what, you're either attracting or manifesting on purpose or not. You can manifest irresponsibly or responsibly. And so this is an exercise that's going to help so many people. It's helping me. I began it last week when Jeffrey Combs gave me the reminder to do that, because I'd learned of this, I would say 3 years ago, just before everything kind of went crazy for me, just after I quit my job and started my landscaping business, and then the lights went out and the water went off. Just before that, I was challenged to do this, and I was not ready. I was not ready for it. So this might not be something that you begin today or tomorrow, but I want you to write it down so that you have it in your mind and you start pulling it towards you to do, because it's very powerful. I'm blown away by it. So basically, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. This is called a life story rewrite. Now, you've heard before on how to kind of, write out how you want your future to be and write out how you want your present to be as if it's in present tense. This goes deeper. This goes back all the way to the day you're born. And you rewrite with literally starting with once upon a time. And you rewrite your story from birth until your present day, however it is that you would have rather seen it. It doesn't mean that you have to eliminate everything that you've experienced. You might not eliminate very much. You might just change the financial status of your family. You might just change how many siblings you had. You might just change what school you went to. Or it could be a total overhaul from beginning to end, all the way up to your present moment. And what that does for your mind is it, because literally when you get deeper with law of attraction, you'll discover that there's kind of, it's an esoteric thing where people agree that all things exist if it is thought. So basically you're tapping into that dimension of yourself that did experience it the way you'd prefer. And what that gives you in your 3D life, in your now, is so much power. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. I'm going to go find the my blog post about it. Kimberly, why don't you talk? Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's absolutely phenomenal what you're saying, Tara, because a lot of people don't understand that in science. I'm going to go back to science because my physicist head on. But in science, when you go into quantum physics, you realize that, that we think we're in one state at any particular time, but we're not. The particles are, you can't even pinpoint, an electron, which is a part of us, at any one time. It's moving so quickly, it's in different states at different times. So if you look at fundamentally what's going on in the microscopic sense, it applies in the greater sense as in, to us, because we're part of that. And if you're every decision that you've made in your life, everything that you've done, there's multiverses out there where, like right now, there's another you that hasn't attended this webinar. There's another you doing something else. There's another you that probably doesn't have any idea about law of attraction. There's another you that never met Tara or myself. So there's different, every decision changes your life. So what Tara was saying with regards to actually creating that, you can actually tap into that because it's actually happening simultaneously. There's a wonderful film, which it's not very sort of esoteric, but I love the science behind that. It's called The One, and it has Jet Li in it. Just Google it and look it up. But when you
and I've got chills just listening to you talk. Like,
yeah,
and you could see it. I think you can.
Oh wow! So if you watch it, it's phenomenal. And I'm not going to tell you the story, but you just watch it and look at it from a scientific point of view, just exactly what I've just been saying. You'll understand it and see in the film and really understand that you can actually tap into the different parts of you and different, parallel universes that are living the life, a different life to that you're living right now. So, really just pay attention to what's been said today.
Oh man, I cannot believe the chills up my arm, my spine. You know what? This was a good idea to have this hangout because I'm telling you, both of us, everyone here, it's the middle of the year, right? It's the middle of the year. We've been producing, hopefully, all the way since the beginning of it. And we're about to go into the other half where we start picking the fruits. We start reaping what we've sown. Yeah. And it gets to be a little challenging here. There's a little bit... Both Kimberly and I, she didn't feel well. Technology wasn't working right. I was feeling really well. And just being able to, get calm so that we can move it. I know that this is like the perfect time for this because it's kind of like a validation. When you get chills, it's like the truth. Yeah. Or following your gut. So cool. And I'm so glad you brought up that movie. It's epic.
Yeah.
The One by Jet Li.
Yep. It's absolutely phenomenal, and it's amazing because you don't really realize, and I think a lot of people think things are esoteric, but when you really understand science and the fundamentals of science and the research behind it, you realize that actually it's all connected, and you can connect the pieces. Everything that you've learned, everything that you know right now, it's interconnectable, and everything is the truth. So everything that you hear out there, you know, whether it's religions, every religion has its own truths, every science has its own truth, everything. But what you've got to do is really understand yourself, and really, you know, and pick the bits that really work for you, and just go for it. And it's just amazing what you can do. And rewriting a story, oh my gosh, that is so powerful, just to have that power to rewrite it the way. And you know, the funny thing is, someone out there is living, well, the other you is living that life, literally living that life. So just like how you can create your future by writing, you know, just writing your goals and your stories, and just saying really, in present tense, this is what I'm doing. You're creating, because we're creative beings. We're here, we create. Everything you see around you is created. You can actually do that and rewrite your past, and you just be amazed by the power of that, really.
It's really super amazing. And this also, you know, if you've been the type of person, like I've always been asked, when are you going to write your book? I've been asked that since I was like 14. I'm like, oh, I don't know. You know, there wasn't much that I wanted to touch on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not that I've had a horrible life, not even by a long shot, not even close. I know what a horrible life is, and I don't want it. You know, and I'm sure there's whatever, but I never felt it. Like when the first day I started writing this, I was like, I've got my first book.
Yeah.
It's coming out of me. Like when I sit down, this is how I do it, guys. I sit down in the morning. I go out to the garden first with the coffee and my water and my smokes, and I bring my book out there with my blue inked pen and my white lined paper. I'm sure you've heard of that before, Kimberly. It's important. I don't know why.
Tara, I think you should tell them why.
I don't know
think
why.
That, you know.
all I've been told is by certain people with deep knowledge have always said, don't ask why, just do it.
Oh. Well,
I've never
as
been
far
told
as I know, with the white paper is quite reflective. So it reflects. So as you're writing, it's reflecting back into, you know, with the light, it reflects. So here's the sciencey bit again. And blue, you take it in more. It's a trust. You know, we were talking about trust and creating trust and colors. And people trust blue. So if you have blue, it's like the psychology. It's literally you're doing a little NLP on yourself. So when it comes to writing in blue pen, you're feeling the trust. So as you do that, you're creating.
I was going to mute myself because of my dog, but it's time for me to talk. So yeah, okay, that's good to know. You know, because I've always heard it from people that seem to have some secret knowledges. And I was like, ooh, you know, and I always suggest blue ink. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a screen share of the blog post that I wrote. I'm going to yell at my daughter to tell my dog to shut up, too. So hold on one second.
But with regards, I mean, with the blue ink, I personally write everything in blue. And, you know, and it's I spend time looking for blue pens in my house. Even now I've got a blue pen as we speak. Just purely because of that reason. But some people can't take the plain white paper. If you're sort of dyslexic, or, you know, the harshness of the light reflecting on it, on the white paper might, you know, disorientate you a little bit. But that's fine. You can still use a different type of paper, cream or whatever. But the whiter your paper is, the better. Yeah,
cream would work out, I think, really good. Kind of like parchment. Like we have this whole hangout set up looking like parchment paper.
Yeah.
Well, this is when Jeffrey gave me the idea to revisit what I had learned a few years ago. And I thought of this, you know, everyone says that history is written by those who won the battle. So this is your opportunity to become the champion of your own life, because you're here, you know. You get to write your history. And I outlined some guidelines, you know, to get a journal or a notebook, whatever you can get your hands on, with either blue, white, or cream color paper, something maybe just slightly off-white. Don't type it out. Don't use a Word document or anything. Wait for later to do that. At
Yeah.
first, it has to be a physical action. The blue inked pens, because you're going to run out of ink. And at least
But
5 to 10
Tara, can
minutes a
I
day.
just before you carry
Yes.
on, in terms of
Huh?
using literally, it's very important people understand the reason for actually handwriting it. Handwriting, when you're actually writing, you are creating thoughts. So as you're writing and using the motion of writing, you're causing your brain to think, and as you're thinking, you're creating the emotions within you. So literally, as you'll find that when you handwrite something, and you could test this out for yourselves. Handwrite something that oh gosh, I'm so happy and grateful for the sunshine today, and then type up, I'm so happy and grateful for the sunshine today. You'll find that the emotions are quite different, and you find that it's because the writing motion the actual physical movement of your hand actually creates your brain to actually start thinking, and when you start thinking about what you're writing, you start feeling emotional about it, and the emotion is what really is what this is what creates things. So if you're feeling bad, you'll feel bad. If you're writing bad stuff, you'll find that if you start writing, angry things, you start feeling the emotion. So, that's why we always say, just keep an eye on what you're feeling, because that's what is created in your life, and that's what you will see. So
Amen,
that was it,
sister.
Tara.
That is
Sorry.
so true. The physiology of it, like she's saying, it connects to your body has memory, and when you're doing the action, it brings you the emotion. So definitely handwriting this first. Type it later if you like. You don't have to. If you want to, like, use typing as a way to edit it, if you want to put it together in the end like a book or a blog, excellent. But for now, it's a notebook situation or journal situation.
Yeah.
You don't have to give yourself a whole bunch of time. Don't make this one of those things that keeps you overwhelmed. 5 to 10 minutes, one page. I started at one page in the morning. Now I let myself go as long as as I feel connected to the story, and then I stop. So 5 to 10 minutes every day. You're gonna want to have a really open mind. Absolutely. Um, Kimberly, why don't I'm gonna take this screenshot away again, because I want to be here too.
You're
Okay,
you're cutting
Kimberly,
slightly.
why don't you talk about the importance of maybe doing a dreamscaping before starting a rewrite?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole point of actually doing dreamscaping is so you can open up your mind and really free yourself. Because a lot of times we're very constricted in how we do things, and the way we're very, especially the British. The Americans, maybe you guys might be a bit, but we're the British, and we very sort of oh no, we cannot possibly do that, and we cannot possibly come across that way. And you find that a lot of people are constricted in the way they think. They don't let their full emotions out. When they feel fully happy, they don't let it out. Just in case, oh, it's actually that goes back down to when we were younger. Don't do this because of what the neighbors will think, and there's all that thing going on in your mind. So a lot of people really are not open to experiencing emotions fully, whether it's really bad emotions or really good emotions. And when you close yourself up, and sometimes people have closed themselves up because of something they've experienced and something that was quite bad, and that they don't want to feel that again, so they've numbed themselves, and by doing that you're actually numbing yourself from feeling the good stuff as well. So the whole purpose of the dreamscaping is to really just open your mind for you to start feeling good, and just start feeling something and really get deep in yourself, just start getting those emotions running. And so the dreamscaping thing that we're going to, just want you to do this. If you've got a sheet of paper right now, please make notes on, when you go off and you actually do this. Literally, just start thinking about, okay, for example, today, just close your eyes. You've got to close your eyes, listen to some calming music, whatever it is. I'd say visualize. I wouldn't say write it down just yet. I'd say visualize. So sit down, lie down on your bed, and visualize your life exactly how you want it. Right now, you're lying there. What's happening? You're lying in your huge bed. Where are you? You're sitting there in your sitting room. What does it look like? What do you see? You look out of a window. Do you see a garden? Is there a fountain? Really start going deep into what you see, and the more detailed you get, the better your visualizing will be. Now, what you'll be doing right now is actually talking about what's happening presently. So it's the present, think about the appointments that you have. You might have your massage in like an hour's time. You might have your driver coming to pick you up. Just literally, and it might sound silly, but I know some of you are smiling already at the thought of this, because it does make you feel good, So when your driver picks you up, how far is this massage place? How long is the massage going to take? When you finish your massage, where are you going next? Who are you going to meet? Who are your friends? Who's phoning you? Your phone's bleeping. Who is that? Is it? And just really think about the people who you want to surround yourselves with. They're probably not the present people who you're surrounding yourselves with. It's not going to be those people, but just pick those people who you really want to surround yourselves with. Are they phoning you? Are they bleeping? Are you meeting someone for coffee or lunch? Are you having afternoon champagne, or whatever it is, whatever you love to do, and really just visualize it. You've got a holiday coming up. Where are you going? You've just got the tickets through the post. Where is your holiday? Who are you going with? Do you have a boat? You've just looked out your window. Is there is there a view of the sea? Do you have a boat that you own? There's a lot of things that you can really start and delving into, and just really opening your mind.
Right on. I tell you, first time I did dreamscaping, I was like, thank you for letting me have permission. Oftentimes, when people say set goals or think about the way you'd want it to be, make it believable. Well, believable means I'm shoving all my previous limitations on it. What I really want is very extravagant. So the dreamscaping exercise that we did with Mark Overson is just like, what?
Yeah.
And maybe
absolutely.
that's why I felt finally that I could do a rewrite, because I was actually allowing myself to think bigger. So important. Let me see if I need to share my screen anymore. I don't think I do. Okay, another thing would be, this doesn't have to be fully detailed. Only as detailed as you want it to be. Only as detailed as you want it to be. You don't have to describe every minute. You don't have to describe exactly what the banister looked like on your staircase in your house. But if you want to, if it makes you feel good, do it. When you start to feel a lot of resistance, maybe detail needs to be left out a little bit, or maybe more has to be brought in. And don't be surprised if you feel a little funny. Maybe some of what I've been going through in this middle of the year has to do with my story rewrite. I'm kind of purging things that I don't want and bringing a whole new existence in, that I'm going to focus on. That's it. So expect growth to happen here, because this is going to be a growth exercise, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, when you feel the resistance, you're out of your comfort zone, and that's okay. Don't fight it. It's fine to feel uncomfortable with it. You've never experienced it before in your current state, so it's okay to feel a bit. It's just like to experience new things. The first time you go on a roller coaster, you've never experienced it before, so you have the trepidation, you have the fear of, okay, maybe I shouldn't even be on the roller coaster. Let me just jump out quickly. And then it starts moving, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm definitely going to die now. And then, you go through the emotions. You go from feeling you're going to die, and then you realize that actually I'm not going to die. And then you go, and the end, you're thinking, wow, that was great. I survived. Oh, maybe I should do that again. And, so it's the different experiences. So some people come out from it and go, I'm never doing that again, So, but either way, it's the experience that you're going to go through. You're going to feel the uncomfortable feeling, and the way you're going to feel at the end of this journey, it will be like, wow, I should do that again. And it'll become part of your life, and you'll realize that there's so many different things that you can rewrite, not just your life, but maybe look at your love life. You can really just go in like quite deeply. You can look at your relationship with your children. You can look at your relationship with your husband or your wife. start looking at your business relationships. You know, how would you have start? What would you have done in your business? So it's not just an exercise, and I know some people might take it just as a, oh, it's just a law of attraction exercise. No, you can do this in any aspect of your life. So really think about it and have the vision of, you know, how to rewrite what happened. So if you set up a business and maybe it didn't work the way you wanted, or maybe you wanted it slightly different, or you wouldn't have worked with certain people, you can put that in and actually have it the way you actually want it, and really that will help you in your where you currently are right now.
Absolutely. This whole thing can totally. This is going to help you set your goals, because you're going to be much more confident in that. You know, in the writing down how you want your business to go, and the writing down how you want your relationships to go, and as if it's present tense and future, being able to kind of step back a bit there. You know, individual incidences is going to be very powerful for your life. It's going to be very powerful for you guys. Absolutely. I can imagine when I'm done with this, I know what's happened. I know what's happened. You know what I'm saying? I know that I know what's happened. You know, I don't know if you guys ever felt, I don't know if you feel this way or if you felt this way. I'm one of those people that had memories right from birth. I have memories as being, you know, not being able to catch anything or touch anything. I remember thinking in full thoughts with full language. I remember the day that I bunked my head on the kitchen table because I grew a half-inch overnight. I remember the day that I threw out my nursing bottle because I was too big for that. I was barely taller than the garbage can in the kitchen. I remember everything. And people are always like, what? I always knew since I was very, very small, since I was born, who I was. And a lot of the contrast that I felt as I was experiencing my life as it wasn't in conjunction with what I thought was. And it pissed me off. And it created a lot of rebellion in me. You know what I mean? Like, a lot. If you've known me, a lot of people have known me a very long time, and that are probably watching this or going to watch this later, because it's funny how the people from my life are curious about how I am now. And they watch this stuff. They want to know. They know what I went through. They know what, you know, at 13 years old, I was wild right away. They know what I went through in my 20s. What, you know what I'm saying? And they could, this totally is allowing me to get in touch with what I am in like, you know, in that metaphysical way. Yeah. And allow the next part of my life, you know, because literally I have a half a life to go, if not more, to really just flow the way that it's meant to be for my mind.
Absolutely. And, you know, and people underestimate. I mean, if you don't remember your past or whatever it is, or what you think, just take a look at a newborn baby. You know, I remember when my children were born, they've got this look of, oh, I'm out. And they're like looking around, trying to figure things out. So people always, you know, and I've written a book, which is, you know, with the publishers and all the rest of it, but it's about children, and it's about how they think, and, you know, and how not to underestimate. If you're having a conversation, you think children don't hear. Of course they hear, and not only do they hear, they can feel it too. They're more in tune, much more than adults are. We've closed a lot of things off, and, you know, like I said, in terms of emotions, people are really closed off. But children are really open to all sorts of things, and so they see things in such a way that other people don't see it, you know. And really, if you can really tune back to when you were a child and what was happening, you'll realize that you had more power. You think you have power now, but you had more power then than, you know, because you were just an open book. You were just, everything was just coming into you, and just, it was just flowing, and you were in tune with the infinite intelligence, with God, whatever you want, you know, to call God, you know, but you were in tune with the higher, the greater power, and you could tap into that whenever you want. And that is the power of what we're doing here. So you can really tap into, like, easy access. You know, people use prayer to have easy access. literally, when you're praying, you're actually having a conversation with your higher self, and your higher self is God. And so when you're a child, it's so easy for you. You see something, you want it, and children normally get what they want in a funny kind of way, not because they're sulking or moaning about it, but they want it, and they don't see why they can't have it. Because we're always telling children with toys, for example, oh no, you can't just grab the toy. We're the ones that teach them etiquette and all that stuff. They don't see a problem. Well, I want that, so I'm taking it. And somehow along the line, we've been taught to control ourselves, and with that control, obviously, comes a lot of shutdown of emotions and stuff like that. So, I mean, you were talking about really knowing, Tara, about the world around you. I've got a different experience, that I have a lot of deja vus, and I can go somewhere, and I've never ever been there at all in my entire life. I've never seen it, and I feel like I've been there. And there's a moment where you think, have I actually been here before? And it could be your other self having the experience. So your other self is actually having the same experience simultaneously, or your other self has had the experience, and you're going, somehow your paths are intertwining. So I'm not gonna, freak you guys out with a lot of science and a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So
this is good.
We don't want to blow you away, but but there's a lot of things, But in our coaching program, I mean, we there's a lot of things that Tara and I are going to do, and a lot of things that we've actually done and piled in together. So, at some point you're gonna get this knowledge. If it's something that you're interested in, really just reach out to either one of us. You'll get the full download. But no, it's amazing that when you the metaphysical side, it's all interconnected. Like we said before. So what you're doing with this, rewriting your story, is absolutely phenomenal. And Tara is gonna, Tara, can you explain how the law of attraction works in this case? I mean, we've explained about the law of attraction and all the rest of it, but what do they benefit from this? Because I think a lot of people thinking, okay, fair and fine, if I write this or I do this, what do I get?
Right. Well, what's in it for you? Everybody needs to know that, right?
Yeah.
The law does not recognize the difference between the truth and the story. It doesn't recognize from reality and imagination. All it does is work nonstop, 24/7, to bring you whatever it is you're thinking about. Mm-hmm. So when you do this physical exercise of writing this down, you are going to show the universe, or God, or whoever you want, or yourself, your higher self, that this is what you prefer. And what will happen, obviously it's not going to change your 3D life right now. But what it will do was it'll give you more of that. It'll give you more of that. So the experiences that you write about in your rewrite, you'll start noticing more of those experiences are starting to happen. You only have to ask the universe once for something. But if you focus on it all the time, and you're always like, then you're just letting the universe know that you don't have it yet. And then it's going to think that, well, you're focusing on that, so that must be what you want. You want more of the not having it yet. It doesn't know the difference between that. Where the intelligent comes in is you, and you rewriting this is just going to let the universe, that's it. I'm going to give them more of that. I'm going to let them have more of that. And like the reason why I'm feeling like chills and stuff during this conversation is because the universe is telling me, yes, 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 yes. Sometimes you'll find a lot of challenges will happen in your life just before you're about to have a breakthrough. And that's just it trying to find out if that's what you really mean. Because you may have been manifesting irresponsibly before and focusing on what you didn't have too much. And it might not be sure that you really mean it now. In this rewrite, it's going to become much easier for you to think of what you want, take the action to get it, and then realize the existence in your life. If you can do this, you can do anything.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Tara, that is so true. Because everything we think about, I mean, if you think about most of the people that don't have the money, what is their primary focus? Debt. I have to pay this bill. Oh my God, I don't have money for this. I don't have money. I don't have money. And you start having more problems, and you seem to be getting further and further away from what you want. So just change focus, and it's really hard to just do that. But that's because I think the way we look at things is in a linear sense. We think, well, I get this, then I can think about this. But no, you have to think about the thing first before you actually get it. So, you know, the focus really needs to be on more about what you want. I know when you're in a certain situation, you're really focusing, but the universe doesn't work like that. You know, it never works, and it's law. Whether you believe it or not, like I said at the beginning, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's true or you, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that that, and the majority of people don't like the fact that you've got to go. But it doesn't really matter whether you like it or not. It's the fact. The law is the law. It's the fact. So you've got to abide by the rules, and there's consequences when you don't follow the laws. It's like planting a seed. If you plant a seed right now and rip it out within, tomorrow morning, are you expecting anything to? Of course, nothing is going to grow. You're not going to reap any harvest. There's going to be no fruit, nothing, and you're going to say, well, the seed must be rubbish. And I think a lot of people do that. They plant ideas and they put them out there, and then as quickly as they put them out there, they delete them. They dig them out. And then say, oh no, that's not working. I woke up in the morning and I didn't have it immediately. So, just like what Tara was saying about planting the seed, you've got to plant the seed and just let it, get your idea, whatever it is. Don't over focus on it and start over stressing like, I said this 2 years ago, how come it's not happening? You'll be amazed at when it happens. Don't over focus on it. And there's a video actually on Jim Carrey, and he talks about, he wrote his goals about saying that he'll make $10 million by a certain date, and he had that, he carried it around with him. It was a card and it was looking all mangled or whatever, but he actually made the 10 million through Dumber and Dumber. Imagine that. So imagine he was stressing about not making the 10 million, he would have never made it.
And so can I say something about that?
Yeah.
He wrote that down when he was homeless, living in his car, overlooking the city of Los Angeles from the Hollywood Hills. He wrote that from the biggest place of contrast. If you think about how hard that it may be to develop that kind of focus in contrast.
You have got to love it, Tara. Oh my God, you just gave me the chills just there. You have got to love what you do. It's whatever it is that you're doing. That's why we're talking about writing and getting the emotions going, because as you're writing, you are feeling it. It's coming from a deeper part of you. You start feeling it. You will feel it. You will feel it. And when you feel it, that's when the connection happens. And only at that point will you really strive for, will you really get it. Some people say they want money. You don't really want money. You say you do. I know you do, because you have to pay your bills, but you really don't. Because if you really did, you would feel it deep inside you, and you realize that's not even about the money. It's about what the money can do for you and the ability that it gives you to do all this other stuff. So when you're actually rewriting your life the way you'd want it to be, you need to feel that emotion and really just get involved. That's why I was talking about getting the details. Like, initially when you're visualizing, just visualize your life the way you'd like it right now, which will enable you to rewrite your past. When you're thinking about these things, go into detail in your mind. You don't have to necessarily write it down, but really go into detail in your mind and really see yourself there doing that stuff like it really happened. When you recall the past, what do? You get emotional. If I start telling you about a story that got me really angry, I start feeling angry all over again. It happens, a lot of people, and that's why we as coaches, we always say, no, don't relive the story. Just stop reliving that story. If it's a sad thing or someone died, you go for, literally, you start going, oh, then I did this and then I did that. So why do you not relive the great things in your life? Relive them in a really emotional state. I know most of the times we love to relive the bad things, but relive the good things, you know, and really think about, oh my gosh, the day I met my best friend and this is what happened, and oh, it was so amazing, or the day I met my husband, or the day I met my wife, or the day my child was born. Really go through the emotions, because I think, you know, people don't really go through the good emotions enough, and that's why we don't have enough greatness. Of course, we all have good things, but, you know, focus. Where we focused, we're focused on the negatives and all the stuff that we could improve. But you are God's highest form of creation. You are perfect exactly how you are. The only reason why we're, you know, saying rewrite your life is so you can really channel to see that you can have the life that you want, you know, and be where you want to be.
We're having.
What are your thoughts, Tara, on that? Sorry?
We're having a great hangout here. We're not the only ones getting chills.
Oh, that is amazing. You know, it's amazing, because when you get the chills, it's because you're tapping into that higher power. And do you know, we were talking about masterminding the other day, and we'll do another hangout another time. But it's about the combination. It's when two minds come together, two or more minds come together, you start feeling that energy, and it just creates a synergy of just amazing things.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Let me see here. Let me see if Dale or anybody that's watching. We have a few people watching. They have any questions? And let everyone get back to work. I have a feeling some people are sneaking on their cell phones in the bathroom at their job.
I'd love to say this is a good thing. This is a good thing. You chose the right time to do this. But no, absolutely. I mean, go back to work, because you don't want to have the wrong energy about work.
But can only give them good energy. This is a good energy hangout.
Because, you know, people start worrying about work and all the rest of it. But, you know, this, you know, imagine, this is a very good example. Imagine you're in a job, you're working, of course, but you don't have to worry about hiding in the toilet or getting permission from the boss to have a call or do your call at lunchtime. No, because you own the company. And even if you don't own the company, they give you enough freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're fantastic at what you do. You know, someone has spotted your talent and ability, and you now can do that. You know, so that could be another rewrite where you've rewritten the thing. You know, you've got the job, you've been promoted, you're now in a lovely position where you can do exactly what you want to do and not worry about
right on
stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, golly, you could totally, if it gave you too much contrast to go all the way back to the once upon a time I was born here, you could start with just your job, you could start with just your car, like the whole shopping experience from when you bought your car. You know, maybe your car now, instead of being the 1993 Toyota Corolla, is a, 2014 Dodge Ram diesel.
Ooh.
You know, who knows?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
You can literally go as deep as you want with it, and but the deeper you get, the thing is, the deeper you get, the more emotional you'll get. You'll realize, people will start off on a superficial level because that's where we are. But the deeper you get, the more emotional you get about it, the more you'll realize how powerful it is. And it's the story of your life. And that's what you want to do. I mean, for me, rewriting my story would be phenomenal. There's certain things, but the funny thing is, there's certain things I wouldn't change because it would change where I am right now. Not in the sense, but like if I change certain things, I might not have met Tara. So it's like, so what do I change? So there's certain things that you'd like to change that wouldn't affect certain things in your life. So maybe just look at that and change the things that you feel would really benefit you, because it's all about having the life the way you want it.
Yes. And you also understand this: if you're rewriting your life up until your present moment, you can make sure that the person's there.
Yeah. Oh,
You
absolutely.
know,
And the thing
absolutely.
is, don't think about it as oh, I don't regret anything. No, no, it's not about regrets. It's not about
No.
mistakes. It's not about that. It's how you would like it to be. That's very
Yes.
important to know that. It's got nothing to do with, oh, I'm going to rewrite that mistake. It's, or, not have that happen. It's just the way you'd like it to be. If I had my life, I probably would have gone to private school, for example, because, like my children in private school, and I sort of really see the difference. And so my life would be like, okay, so we have a lovely, rich, whatever, and I go to private school so my parents can afford, or they have the vision, because I think it wasn't really that they couldn't afford it, it was more that they didn't have the vision. So you can have lots of money and not really have the vision. Whereas
Right.
it was just something for me that I just really wanted to do. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, in my story rewrite, I am completely educated at home by my very awesome nanny,
oh, fantastic.
and she's you're gonna love the story. It's so good.
Oh, Tara, you see, we're gonna have to read it. You have to put it out there. Come on. Can't
No
wait
doubt
to,
about
to
it.
read it.
It's fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not as difficult or as mind-boggling challenging as I originally thought it would be. Nope. It's
Mm.
fun. It's great. I'm trying to
It's
get a
like with
screenshot
anything,
of it.
really. It's like with anything when you start doing stuff. It's a matter of I can try and capture something. Um, there we go. um, when you're actually dealing with certain things, it's not it's just a matter of how, it's a perception, really. And when you start something, it always seems difficult because it's something you've never done.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy. It's just getting into a new habit, really. Like Tara was talking about, doing it in the morning, is getting into that habit of doing it every morning. Um, and fitting that thing in. And some people say, well, I don't have the time in the morning. You make the time. We all have 24 hours in the day. There is time there. We all
Yeah.
get exactly the same amount of time. So really think about that when it doesn't matter what you're doing. Just know that you have the same amount of time as somebody else. It's what you do with your time. Are you effective user of your time?
Yes. And this
I
has
don't know
been.
if people have questions on it.
I don't have any questions. I asked a little bit ago, and there are no questions. So
Fantastic.
we can wrap it up if you're ready to wrap it up.
Absolutely. Do you want to go through the key points again, just so they know
Absolutely.
exactly?
Absolutely. Let me make sure that I don't screw this up. Because sometimes when I go to grab the picture, I get myself all the way out of the Hangout. Okay, key points. Number one, do a dreamscape beforehand so that you can start allowing yourself to have a wild imagination. It can be wild imagination. Number two, don't overwhelm yourself with it. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes a day unless you feel inspired or filled with spirit to go further. But don't let it be something that overwhelms you. You're practicing here. It's a practice. It's a practice. It's an exercise.
Mm.
White paper, blue inked pen. The more luxurious with those items you can get, the better. Absolutely. If it's a challenge for you to go buy a pack of Bic gel pens, then go get that pack.
Mm.
If you're in the stage of getting the Mont Blanc, order it. Order it with a couple of extra refills of Royal Blue ink.
Yep.
Um, whatever to bring yourself a little out of your comfort zone a little bit. That's always a really great idea. I didn't mention that before, but I believe in it.
Well, I find, Tara, sorry, just to add to that, a fountain pen is absolutely phenomenal because the way the ink flows is just amazing. And I'm
Yes.
always battling with, people in my house. That's why I end up stuck with this one. Not very pleased, but always nicking my pen. So I can never find. Obviously, after this call, I'm going to freak out a little bit looking for my pen, and someone's probably doing homework using it, so I'm going to get it back.
I love it.
So
I
yeah.
love it. What was the other point? It can be as detailed or not detailed as you want. It's up to you and how you feel while you write it. I definitely suggest you start from day one and work all the way to the day that you end writing the rewrite. What's the other point? I know there was more.
So we've covered really free yourself. I mean, the visualizing, the dreamscaping is in two parts. So you will visualize, lie down and really visualize initially, and then write down. You know, so it's you can do it in the evening or first thing in the morning, but either way, whatever works for you. But you have to have you know, set an alarm or something, so you have like 10 minutes of you really thinking about this. Just close your eyes and really think. Try not to fall asleep again. So I used to do this several times when I was visualizing and falling asleep and dreaming it. But it's really important to be awake. But it's important to do the visualization in a state where you're calm. So just before you go to bed, or just before you're fully alert and you wake up, because it's to do with the brain and being in beta mode, or alpha mode.
There's something that I do every night that this might be a suggestion. I'll put it in the comments. Every single night I use sleep hypnosis all night long. And various different, most of them are from the Brain Garage because I just like it. Some people might not. Yeah. You can do other kinds of hypnosis and not do that, but there's some, you know, like where it's like, you are a powerful creator, and all night long I'll be hearing the guy say, "You're awesome. Everything you do is so awesome. You have 1 million fans. You make a lot of money. You dream big." You know, like all this crazy stuff, and I do that every night so that when I wake up, I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely. That is just, it's so amazing how powerful that is, and I mean, a really great way of actually, I just thought about this, Tara, but I've done this before, and it's just come to me when you were talking about my son. What he does, he actually has a recording of himself.
Yes,
you know, so it's exactly the same analogy, but he's got a recording with his own voice saying all this stuff to himself, so he's hearing it all night long. What I think is really powerful is writing a letter to your current self from your future self, and you can actually do it in the same way where you're writing a letter from your past self to your future self, explaining what you're going through and how your life is, and just saying, "Oh, this is so awesome," or better still, do the recording. And I've done several recordings where I've recorded myself in the future, but you can flip this round. Yeah. Do a recording where you're talking to your future self is talking to your present self. You know, "Oh my gosh, Kimberly, this is what's happening. I've just gone to a premiere. It was really awesome," and and then it's like really having a phone conversation with your future self, and it's amazing what that can do. And when you play it, you're thinking, "Oh wow, sounds really great," and really get the emotions going. And you'll realize that when you play it back, it really does have that effect, and you do feel and sound the way you would do if you were really going through that. So that's another way, and maybe just flip it round for this particular exercise and use it to say your past self is actually talking to your current self now, and saying, "Oh, mum just bought me a new car. Oh my goodness, I've just gone out," whatever it is, and just literally having a conversation. So maybe just a brief one would be a great way to start off with. Do a 2-minute conversation with yourself, and then you build it up from then onwards.
Yep. Jeffrey Combs, I know Dale, it's his favorite guy too. It's Mark Hoverson's coach. He's awesome. He always suggests that you record a 5 to 10 minute audio of yourself telling yourself how great you are. And that's it. And taking that and looping it, listening to that when you sleep. Your own voice.
Absolutely.
Because my
13-year-old son is so into stuff, and he listens.
I know. I saw his age. He's wild.
It's just got such a way, but he, and he's just like, "Oh, I can teach you about visualization." I'm like, I'm a coach. That's what I do. And he's like, I know, but I've got a new technique. I'm like, okay. And, you know, it's really important to listen to them because it's amazing. I mean, I don't know where he came up with this idea. And he was just, you know, completely just going around trying to, you know, he saved up his money to buy a recorder. Because there wasn't sort of a recorder function in the house, and he didn't want to. When he did it on his phone, he didn't have enough, you know, bandwidth and all the rest of it. So he saved his money, got his recorder, and did his recording, and he's quite happy with it. And it's just amazing. It just plugs it in, and off he goes. But it's all the things that you do, and you know, I'll use my son as an example. I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he wakes up so early because, you know, I like the fact that he gets enough sleep. But he'll set his alarm for 4 o'clock. And he's got his timetable written out where he does visualization. He's got this for that. And it's all it's got a crazy timetable of all the things that he needs to get in before he goes and wakes up literally officially for school. And after school, like tonight, he's saying he needs to be bed at 8 because he's got to do certain things. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And right here, the sun is shining. I don't know if you can see outside over there, but it's still bright. So I'm not quite sure how he's going to manage to fall asleep so early, but it's those things. You just have to do the things, step out of your comfort zone and just get creative and just live the life that you know imagined, really.
I have a feeling he'll have no problem.
Yeah. I would have loved to have that knowledge at that age. I think I would have done amazing things. Yeah, absolutely. There's you know, the knowledge I have now. Absolutely, I'd have loved to have known what I know now when I was younger. Absolutely, that's one powerful thing. Well, I would really take into this.
I would love to remember what I knew then now.
Yeah.
Because you knew.
Yeah.
You know, so that's awesome. This is the best hangout ever. I'm going to hang up, though. I think we should shut it down so that nobody has too long of a recording. It'll be exactly an hour.
Absolutely. Awesome, people. Take care and speak to you soon.
Keep an eye out for us next week. And underneath this this hangout here is a link to our fan page on Facebook. That's where we're going to be doing a lot of updates and where our future hangouts will be, our event will be from that page, okay? So, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.